Hello and welcome back to my channel, and here I'm going to be finishing this piece that of the hand reaching out of the fire, and then we have Jesus, of course, there, who's going to be reaching in to grab the hand, saving him from the fire. And this is an original piece, and I have messed up on it, as if you've watched the past videos of you could tell that it's just kind of a work in progress. I had a few things to go by, but mostly it's my design, so I just kind of had to think in my head how I wanted to do this. And I have a few little mix-ups where I had to kind of shade over a few times where my airbrush was giving me some fits and couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. I kept trying to clean it, and found out there was a little bug in my where I had laid my where I disconnected my hose, and I laid it down on the shop floor, and a little tiny bug had gotten in there, and somehow it was messing with the air pressure. So, you know, if you're in a shop and you lay your hose down, always be careful to hang it up. Well, anyway, um, here I'm coming in with some just a bright brownish red color, kind of like a red oxide, and spraying here and there with it, and putting in some yellows and uh, light oranges over that to get kind of a bright, fresh flesh color. Since the fire is coming up from underneath the hand there, we want that glow to show on the hand. Um, and I am using Wicked airbrush color here with some illustration candies. Mostly the grabber orange and the blood red. A little bit of the yellow. And this is a wooden dowel that I am just scratching out some highlights in here and there around the fingers. And you'll find, and that's some Mars eraser that erases out some textures in the hand. I like for my work to have texture in it, so that when you lay other colors over top of these striking highlights here, it kind of gives it a 3D effect. You can tell as I work back and forth, I'm trying to find the right um, tones, and I'm one to lay color on top of other color to get the shade that I want. Instead of trying to mix it all at once in the cup, I tend to lay color on top of other color, and blend it that way. I don't always do it like this, but in this piece I did. There I've got some really bright yellow on the kind of shroud that he has over his head there, but I will be coming back in with some kind of a brownish orange color, and then I will be erasing that out with a Mars eraser, some highlights, and then even with the dowel coming back in and scratching out some highlights with that. This is on an aluminum panel. If you're just clicking on this video and you didn't get the recent videos, it's on an aluminum panel. It's not on canvas, and that's why you're getting a little bit of a glare back there. And then, of course, when this piece is done, it will be clear coated with automotive clear. And you're hearing my dog walk in on my wood floor, so he has nails that need to be cut. Just putting in some highlights here and there. One thing that Um, if you're just clicking on this video, I know I always like to put in my videos some tools that I use, and that is a lipstick applicator, which is just a little foam applicator, much like the painting foam things that you get, not the foam, but I don't even know what they're called. But anyway, these lip applicators are great for cleaning out the inside of your airbrush. You do not ever want to use a cotton swab. I've seen that time and time again with people putting cotton swabs down in their airbrush to clean it out, and that's a no-no. You can get those little fuzzy hairs caught in your airbrush and you can't get them out. But a lipstick applicator is a wonderful tool to use. I'm just darkening in the back of the hair there with some reddish brown color. And at this point it's looking a little bit too red, but you know, the fire's glowing there, so I'll blend back in a dark color in with the hair and then scratch out some highlights here and there, and it will begin to take on the look that I want. And this piece isn't meant to be realistic looking piece. I just wanted it to be a striking, I don't know, fire look, I guess. But the next piece I'll be working on will be a little girl, and it will be a realistic commission, so I will put a picture of her up, and when we do that, if you want to do it with me, we'll take that step by step. I'm just trying to use a little bit of stencil here because these two areas are pretty similar in the color, but I need to really darken that underneath where the hand is, so the hand will really stick out. And you're finding that I'm having trouble mixing these colors together to get the look that I want. But I finally get there. Painting's a process. I hope you all had a nice Christmas and a happy New Year. I hadn't been on here for a little while because I caught the COVID, and of course it about knocked me for a loop. So I was pretty sick for a long time. And of course, when we scratch out these striking highlights, we always want to spray over to dull that down just a little bit, so it's not so popping in your eye that's all you can see is that. And here I'm I don't know what I'm doing. I'm putting in some white for like a glare, and then I'm scratching out some more highlights with the dowel there. This time that's being paused here. I think I'm trying to work on my airbrush to see what is wrong with it. And I really think it was that I just didn't strain my paint. And you should always strain your paint. Beginning to darken the hair up a little bit. Realizing now I don't have the whole picture in the viewer there. Now it's been cold where I'm at. It's been like 31 degrees, Indiana. I really wish that glare wasn't on there. You'd see it a lot better, but that's the lighting. And once it's cleared, that I guess where I sanded this panel on black, it casts a glare when the light's on it. If it was white, it wouldn't be so showing there, but of course you're seeing all my mistakes because I don't paint my pieces before I do the artwork. I kind of like for you to see, what I'm doing, and kind of as I go along, if I make mistakes, and you see those mistakes, and then you see how I fix them. There was a nice one, but then I kind of added it into the shadow of the eye as I begin to work on that. Always looks worse before it gets better, seems like. Hope you all stayed safe. New Year's wasn't too crazy there. I know I'm out of that stage. Been doing so much lately that I go from one job to the next job and I forget in between what I'm even doing. Beginning to take a little bit of shape here. Boy, that looks really red, but it's really not that red. But on the video it does. It looks that way. Starting to take some shape. absolutely sure I went about this the long way. This is the dowel, and I'm just scratching out some striking highlights here. I'm kind of laying it on its side and taking it down. And you can actually just barely touch some places with the tip of this and just really get some nice little highlights, as I do in between the beard and the fingertips and stuff. It really does a good job of putting in that detail that you want. I had trouble with that one finger there. I just couldn't seem to get it to look quite right. Then I'm starting to tap in some little highlights in the beard and the mustache and eyes. I think we're about done. I'm gonna show you like a little bit of down here how I'm like picking out little pieces of this his sleeve that he has here. Of course, we want to make it look tethered and torn and burnt. So I am just kind of like scratching out some little flakes here and there, and I tried a few different things to do this. The X-Acto knife, I believe, is what I finally ended up using, laying it flat and picking out some little highlights here and there. Then I believe I went back in with a blood red candy in between some areas on that sleeve and making it look more burnt. And then highlighting the hand a little bit. think I wanted this to look a little bit more like the hand, part of the hand was burnt. And the rest of it was okay, but I couldn't quite get that glow look that I wanted. And that's something for a little bit more study. If I would have had I think a picture in front of me that had the right color, and then I would have just mixed it, I would have been a lot better off instead of trying to mix it on the actual piece. Here, I'm just putting in some highlights here and there. And I noticed as I started to spray some white that I was starting to get a color shift. And of course, that's always a bummer when you get that blue shift, but this was kind of a purplish blue. So I went in later on and put a little bit of red over that, and it kind of took that cast away, so that was a good thing. But in some places too, I kind of like it, but normally we try to stay away from that color shift. And I think I was looking at it and thinking, it looks a little bit too purplish color, so I think I'll put a little bit of red in there. And here I come back up and touch up a little bit of Jesus's face, putting in some highlights here and there and stuff. But overall, I think this tutorial is pretty much done. Of course, I'm going to do some touching up of myself, but as far as the fire and the hand reaching through the fire, you got the gist of it. And if you wanted to do this piece, you wouldn't have to do it like I did. You could do it your own way, but just kind of come up with a different way of doing it. Of course, I'll learn a lot by just starting off and doing this. Now I would totally attack it in a different way, but it seems like when I do pieces, the first one I do is never as good as the second one, because you always learn from your first piece, and then the second one is always much better. And here I'm just laying in those final colors of the red around the outside part. And then I'll show you pretty well much how I think I take it down. There you go. There's the finished piece. Thank you for watching. Check back.